If you like to take the grand tour of the lonely house that once was home sweet home, I had nothing here to sell you, just some things that I will tell you, some things I know will chill you to the bone. Over there sits the chair where she'd bring the paper to me, then sit down on my knee and whisper, oh, I love you. But now she's gone forever, and this whole house will never be the same without the love that we once knew. Straight ahead, that's the bed where we lie and love together, and Lord knows we had a good thing going here. See her picture on the table, don't it look like she'd be able just to touch me and say good morning, dear? There's her ring, all her things, and her clothes are in the closet where she left them when she tore my world apart. As you leave, you see the nursery. Oh, she left me without mercy, taking nothing but our baby in my heart. Step right up, come on in, come on in. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. George Jones.
And now our host of tonight's celebration. Oh no, wait a minute, I forgot. It's me. Hello everyone, I'm Keon Morgan, your host of tonight's celebration. Well, I'm his avatar. Unfortunately, Keon Morgan couldn't be here tonight in person, so I will be taking over. So, let's get into it. First off, I want to start by saying welcome once again to my 5th year anniversary celebration. This year marks 5 years of me making content on YouTube. And I know to some 5 years isn't that long, but to me, it was. Because so much has happened to me through the course of those years. But through those years, I've learned so much and perfected my craft. But now I will be ending my content making journey because I want to embark on a new journey. And also, I'm sick and tired of this shit. But anyway. But today, I will be talking about the how Morgan Productions came to be. So, let's start with a segment called My Beginning and Progression Through the Years. I'm sure you all know who this is. If you don't, this is Tyler Perry. He is one of my inspirations. He inspired me in so many ways. But what inspired me the most that came from Tyler Perry was his character, Madea. After watching Madea, I fell in love with the character. So much that I even dressed like her on one Halloween when I was younger. But not only did Madea inspire me, Tyler Perry plays and films also inspired me to make my own. But since I wasn't able to find people that was willing to be a part of my films, I created my own characters. And that's where the paper puppets come in. It originally started with me just making paper characters to play with on my own. But when I started out, I wasn't that good. Starting out, my sets were made entirely out of paper, laying flat. But I perfected my craft. Then I started to use cardboard and made 3D model sets. Then I started to post them online. I told many stories with the Madea character, from holiday specials all the way to standalone films. And over time, I started to attract people that was doing the same thing that I was doing. Well, similar to what I was doing. So I decided to work with amazing people like Deaja Lachey, AJ the Comedian, Bryneer Seymour, the Comedian Jay, Marquise Jordan, Jathan Briscoe, Tydrian Thomas, Quali, Dino Pickett, Jervon, and the Great. They all did amazing voiceover work. And for once, I wasn't doing all the voice work alone. I had people to come aboard and help me tell my stories and breathe more life into them. Now, let's take a look back on all of the stories I have told over the years with the Madea characters. I had a wonderful time creating and telling each and every last one of those stories. And as you can see, I've really perfected my craft. Over the years, I've gained a lot, and I also lost a lot. Unfortunately, through the course of those 5 years, I've lost some family members that was near and dear to my heart. So now, I just want to take out a moment to pay a tribute to the ones I've lost. Who better to do that than the amazing Patti LaBelle?
May God bless and always keep you. Thank you. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb every road. And may you stay forever young. Know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous. May you always be strong, and may be busy. May your feet always be swift. Oh. May you have a strong foundation when the winds change and shift. May your heart always be joyful. May you always sing a good old song, girl. And may you stay
And now we take a trip down memory lane, and Gladys Knight is our driver. Enjoy!
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leaves you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small standing by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give fate a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance, and never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might be taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth the making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small standing by the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give fate a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to or dance. Oh, I hope you dance. Oh, I hope you dance. Oh, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
Hello, I'm back. Y'all like my little wardrobe change? Clean, aren't I? Had to switch it up. I got the gold background and everything. I just love it. But now, let's start with the second segment called Inspiring Sitcoms and Films. You may know this TV couple. If you don't, they are the Jeffersons, one of my favorite sitcoms from the 70s. I know that is way before my time, but the show is truly a gem. I recently started watching The Jeffersons back in 2018. Then it hit me. I was in love once again. And I bet you can guess what I did next. If you guessed it, you were right. I built it. That deluxe apartment in the sky that you saw on the TV show, I created out of cardboard and paper. Then, later on, I remodeled the set, and even all of the main characters. I told many stories with the Jeffersons, all original stories written by yours truly. Although I may have used someone else's characters, I always had original storylines to make the story better. Next, we have this show. Now you have to know about this show. This is Sanford and Son, another sitcom from the 70s that caught my eye. It was hilarious, phenomenal. I just had to do it. So I did. Once again, like the other projects I did in my own little world, I built a complete replica of the Sanford and Son set. Well, I think I did. It looks pretty good to me. I try. But as with the others, I told many stories with these characters as well. It was new and exciting. Oh, how I love exploring these old sitcoms. Just beautiful. Now we get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is my favorite universe. I'm not a big fan of the DC universe, but let's not get into that. Like the previous shows and films I did, the Marvel Cinematic Universe inspired me to create stories of my own. So I used some existing characters from the Marvel Universe and created a series called Marvel Legends series. This series was made with chroma key characters. This wasn't the first time I used chroma key. This is actually the second time. We'll get into that a little later. But working on these projects brought me great joy, and with every project I made, I learned something new, and I got better and better each time. So, now let's look back on the inspiring sitcoms and films I did over the years. Just phenomenal. Don't you agree? Now the haters would say, it's alright, but stop hating. Support. Show a little compassion. Love. That's what the world needs now more than anything. Is love. So show a little love. Won't you?
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb, and there are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there is just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another medal. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow, and there are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Won't you listen, Lord, if you wanna know? If you wanna know, needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, oh, but just for everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Zero to hero in no time flat. Zero to hero.
Okay, alright, okay, relax. I know I look good, thank you. I don't normally open up my shirt like this, but it's a special occasion. Plus, I look kinda good, don't I? Yes, but now, let's get into our third and final segment of the celebration called My Original Films and Achievements. Let's start with Bad Pets, one of my original films. Bad Pets was the first project that I ever used chroma key on. All of the characters in the film was chroma key characters. It was the closest thing to animation for me. This film was inspired by my pets I had at the time, 2 birds and a dog. One would say that is a handful, and it was. But out of that, I created one amazing story. Working on Bad Pets was quite different from the other projects I made because it was the first time that I ever used chroma key for the entire film. Chroma key is quite easy. All it is a character that is already made in 3D model form with a green screen background. And all you have to do is remove that green screen background, and then your character comes to life. Also, this film was the first time I ever used the facial expression software. It allowed me to make my characters talk and make facial expressions. It was groundbreaking for me. One of my achievements, I can say, because from the first time I started, I always wanted my characters to have facial expressions and talk and even move. And now I can do all of those things. That's a big achievement for me, I can say. And all of that was made on my phone. Could you believe it? Then we get into this film. This is my first original film that I ever made, called Bygone Jean. And I recently just made a sequel to this film. We'll get into that in a minute. But Bygone Jean comes from the 16th century novel Journey to the West. The character was so intriguing to me that I wanted to make a story of my own. So I modernized the character a little bit, and that's how we got these amazing stories. The first Bygone Jean was a mixture of paper puppets and chroma key characters. It was the first time I ever combined the two in one film. As you can see, most of the backgrounds are green screen and most of the characters are chroma key. Combining the two forms of characters was the best thing I could have ever done. It really unlocked a new level for me. Which leads me to the second film. Now this one is a little bit different. What's different about this film is that the sets are no longer handmade like they once were in the past. I recently stopped building my sets out of cardboard and paper because it was very time consuming and expensive. So I found a new method. I began to use background images. Background images are images of sets. And as you can see, all of these sets are background images. I also used this method in my latest Madea film, Madea's Prom Night. It was groundbreaking for me and less expensive. And another thing that is different about this film is that this was the first time that I ever used the facial expression software on my paper puppets. They were finally able to talk and show facial expression. Now this was a whole nother level. I think it's level 10. I did it again. I discovered a new method. This was great because I always wanted my characters to talk and show facial expression. And that was one of my goals. And I accomplished it. So now let's look back on my original films I did over the years. Just wonderful, isn't it? Yes, but looking back on all of the films and series I did over the years, I feel as if I really accomplished something. It was successful in my eyes. I really enjoyed it. And I learned so much when it comes to filming and editing and just the movie making process all around. I learned as I grew. And as I said before, I will be ending my content making journey here. But I won't be leaving you high and dry. I have 2 bonus films coming out later this year to leave a good taste in your mouth, you know? So be looking out for those. And for all my dreamers out there, continue to dream the impossible dream. There were many times I wanted to quit and give up, but I kept on going. So find something you're passionate about and stick to it. Keep going. I promise you won't regret it. And don't forget to spread a little love. It's not hard to do. It doesn't cost a thing because it's free.
You know it? Wait till this guitar part comes in, you know it. Check it out. Oh, we're gonna tell the story here tonight. It's this here. Flowers bloom in morning dew, and the beauty seems to say, it's a pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true and gay. Easy living and we're giving what we know we're dreaming of. We are one having fun walking in the glow of love. We're walking, ooh, smiling faces going places, it's so wondrous, so clear. By the fountain, climbing mountains as we hold each other near. Sipping wine, we try to find that special magic from above as we share our affair, talking in the glow of love. Yeah, 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 yeah. In the glow of love.
Hear it, blow love.
You're a shining star.
Hear it, blow love.
No matter who you are.
Hear it, blow love.
So I gotta let you know you're moving. Oh yeah. Hold me, caress me.
I'm yours forever and a day.
We are a sweet bouquet. Oh yeah.
Seasons for happiness are here.
Happy, we're so happy. Yeah.
Reason we're filled with cheer.
We're in rapture in the glow of love, yeah. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. In the glow of love, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Never lonely with you, only time will always be our friend. Reaching far to find a star, our destiny is heaven sent. Making known this loving tone will never part the two of us. We will always reminisce, listening in the glow of love. In the glow of love. We wanna be. Gotta let you know you're moving me. You really, really do. I gotta let you know you're moving me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is no better way.
Honey, I love you.
I'm yours forever and a day.
Sweet bouquet. Oh, yeah.
Seasons for happiness are here.
Happy, we're so happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Reason we're filled with cheer.
We're in rapture in the glow. We love you. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with us. We love you. Of love. Good night.
Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. And thanks again for celebrating the 5th anniversary of Morgan Productions with me. Goodbye now.